Hello and welcome to the weather update. It is about 9:30 on September 28th, and the rain is beginning to start across the area. You can see some heavier rain starting to move in. Some yellows we're going to start getting into as well, and this is the beginning of a very long duration event of rain, unfortunately. Today was, as far as the day was, it was kind of cloudy, had some breaks, but other than that, fairly cloudy. And just a few breaks of clouds, and we even had a couple of sprinkles and even a few light showers move across parts of Nassau County in the afternoon today. But now we're getting into the heavier stuff. Let's go to the latest here. Heavy rainfall likely. So this is the deal that we're going to have here, with flash flooding possible late tonight into Friday night. And there will be scattered to numerous areas of flash flooding with the potential of significant flooding. Extensive street flooding is also possible. River flooding as well may happen. Rainfall amounts 2 to 4 inches with localized amounts of excess of 5 inches possible. Rainfall rates in excess of 1 inch per hour. And this is going to be late tonight to Friday night. There will also be minor coastal flooding of around 1.5 feet of inundation above ground level for most vulnerable New York, New Jersey harbor, Jamaica Bay, Western Great South Bay, coastal Westchester, and Fairfield communities through Saturday morning high tide cycles. Flood watch is in effect from late tonight into Friday night. Coastal flood advisories and statements are through Saturday morning. So this is the map that they have, and you can see a moderate risk of excessive right in our area. Jersey Shore, the northern part of the Jersey Shore, Long Island, and then above that you have the slight risk, and around that you got the marginal. This is the map of rainfall totals, and 4 inches of rain. We're going to be breaking records tomorrow, folks. And you can see the hazards here: coastal flood advisory as well as coastal flood statement. So these are the hazards we have to deal with. First, let's go and talk about what we got going on out there right now. Obviously, we do have the rain moving in. And you can see here on the radar the rain moving in as well. You can see that rain and some heavy rain, too, moving into parts of Nassau County already. Looking at the satellite, showing you the satellite here, and you can see the overcast. You can see that bright white. That's the rain right there that's developing. You can also see a little bit of that smoke. Pause it earlier on here. You can see there was some pretty thick smoke over parts of New England. But other than that, that's not going to be an issue for us. It's going to be the rain. That's what's going to be the issue for us. So let's take a look at what we got currently going on out there. Islip, 61 degrees, dew point 55. Already reporting some light rain being reported there already. So let's go over our highs and lows for the day. And really not a huge difference. We didn't really get that much sun. It still got up to around 70 at Islip. Jersey was cooler as they had thicker clouds and some more showers and drizzle around mid-60s. Looking at the lows, more or less mid-50s across the area. There were a couple of areas that might have gotten a little cooler than that. More or less low to mid-50s for the lows. Going over our statistics for the day. Islip was a high. We had a high of 69. That's still 2 degrees below normal. But everything else was right at normal. So we're around normal for the day. Central Park, 8 degrees below normal. Again, Central Park being a lot cooler than Islip. Probably because of the moisture and because it's vegetated there. It's 5 degrees below normal. And a trace of precipitation was reported. That's going to be over a foot of rain by the time this month is over. Though Central Park's record is an old record that was set back in the 1800s for the most rainfall in September. That might not be broken, but the other sites probably will have their records broken. So our storm is taking shape. Let's look at see if there's any lightning with any of these bands moving through. I don't think we are dealing with any thunderstorms, but there is that chance of thunderstorms tomorrow. So let's put this back over here. Going over your observations here again. Let's go back to our observations here. And you'll see if you were up in New England today, you had a much nicer day today. If you were in, say, Taunton, we're 50 degrees, dew point 46, though it is showing that there is some drizzle now that has moved into the picture. But for the most part, if you look at Taunton, you'll see that they had clear skies the most part. 6-mile visibility with mist. I'm wondering if that's really smoke. But anyway, you'll see here clear skies for the most part for them. So they had a nice clear day. We were kind of stuck in the clouds in New England, though they might have had a little bit of haze from wildfire smoke. Well, however, what's really interesting is if we go look at Mount Washington up here, you can go into the White Mountains over here and look for Mount Washington, which is probably... Gotta find it. I think this is it. This is Mount Washington. You'll see 2-mile visibility and smoke at the mount. So the smoke's aloft, but at Mount Washington, they are definitely dealing with it. And you can see, looking at some of these observations here, you'll see, look at that. Yeah, dealing with some smoky conditions at Mount Washington. So anyone who went up to Mount Washington today definitely smelled that thick wildfire smoke today. That was mainly aloft. You had to go aloft to get into it. Look at that, down to 1-mile visibility there in the haze there. So yeah, that smoke was thick up in the up aloft, but it was mainly aloft. But if you were in the mountains, you definitely were dealing with it. But again, that's not going to be an issue for us. Let's go to the MODIS satellite. You can see that smoke again. Here's the smoke, and you can see it there. Part of it's over Nova Scotia as well. After that, I don't see as much smoke there. I think they did get some rain, so maybe that'll help a little bit, push the smoke levels down. But you can see that's a pretty big cloud of smoke there. That's probably going to make its way across the Atlantic to the UK, probably by next week or so. So interesting to say the least. Nonetheless, still interesting to note that. But none of these sites, I think, are reporting smoke at the surface. As far as Halifax goes, I don't think they've had any smoke at the surface. It's mainly been, it's mainly been aloft, basically. So, anyway, enough of that. We got to talk about this soaker that we got to deal with here. And if we look at the weather map, you'll see we have this low. These are the remnants of Ophelia, developing coastal low. It's moving back at us again. Because, again, there's no jet stream. It's just like just imagine a stagnant bathtub. Nothing's really moving that much. So that's what we have here. All right. We have that stalled low. We move it into tomorrow, and you'll see they got that red area because of the flood risk over us. There's that low moving toward us. Move toward day 3. It finally moves away by Saturday. But you see, if we go to this excessive rain, you'll see they got a QPF. Look at that. Look at the amount of QPF they have over us. Incredible amounts of rain are going to fall tomorrow. Going to the Storm Prediction Center for tomorrow. Nothing severe, but there are thunderstorms possible. All right, so let's go to our models here, and we'll take a look at and we'll just put this into Eastern U.S. So we'll first show this in Eastern U.S. view. So you'll see here the storm takes shape. You can see, again, there's no jet stream. Again, if we look at the jet stream here, it's not what I want to use here. If we look at the jet stream, you'll see it's very, very weak. All right, very, very weak jet stream. So, and you can see this, like, cutoff feature form. So it will actually, the storm will affect the upper air and actually cause this little trough here to form along. You can see how it kind of cuts off. It's very strange. And then as we get to Saturday and Sunday, we get into the ridge, and literally almost no upper level winds to speak of on none on Tuesday. Look at that. That's incredible to see as we get in the next week. That's a strong ridge there that we'll be dealing with. And then after that, you'll see another trough come in for next weekend, which may bring cooler air and more rain chances. But we got to get through this storm first, so let's talk about it. And I'm not even going to show you the Euro, because the Euro has been so inaccurate lately that I'm not going to even show that to you. But if you go to the upper air pattern here, again, you'll see that ridging here that develops there. And look at that goes. Strong ridging in eastern Canada as well. There's that trough that would come through and bring our next chance for precipitation and a cool down. All right. But anyway, let's go and look at total accumulated precip on the GFS. And I'll move this a little closer. Honestly, I think the GFS has been doing a very good job with things lately. So you'll see GFS, though it is a little bit on the lower end, it's more like around 2 inches of rain. This is the GFS. All right, so If we look at the European model, which I'll throw in here, European's a little more like around a little more like more like 2 to 3 inches of rain. All right. So let's take a look at the European. I said I wouldn't, but I will look at the European because the European is not good for Saturday. So anyway, here's the European, and you can see rain starts tonight. It lasts through tomorrow. And look at that. It lingers into part of Saturday even. And for finally ending in the evening, finally getting out of here. I mean, that's how slow this system is. So this is the European. It's a little slower and maybe a little too slow. The GFS moves it along a little quicker and at least gets it out of here for, there's still a chance of rain on Saturday. But the worst of it's going to be tomorrow. Unbelievable, right? So that's the GFS. Let's go to the HRRR, which we should have most of it in. We have 40 hours of it in, so it should be most of it. So you'll see what happens tomorrow. This is the HRRR, and you'll see that heavier rain, chance of showers and thunderstorms, and then all day tomorrow, you can see bands of heavy rain all lingering all day tomorrow. There might be a little break at times to the west. And then Saturday, it's lingering still over the island, and then it kind of pivots back, and we get another round on Saturday. So you have plans on Saturday, and you think that Saturday is going to be a great day. Maybe by late afternoon or the evening it'll dry out, and this is as much as the HRRR we have. It's why I wanted to kind of look at it a little bit later and look at a few other models instead regarding this. And you know what? We'll go back to the North American view. Which I'll put this back to the GFS here and just go over the North American view here. We'll do this. All right. So again, you'll see this crazy jet stream here that we have, all right? And you see there's that huge ridge next week. So you can see that's like almost like it's just cut off from the from the rest of it. And then here comes the other trough. And again, a weird shaped trough for next weekend. All right, look at what the jet stream is doing as we get into later October. This is almost like a complete collapse of the jet stream here. I mean, it's just all over the place. It's absolutely insane. Let's look at the European model here. 12Z, because it goes a little further along. And again, you see there's that low right there. You can see it's just cut off. And that's why it's not going to be in a hurry to move, because there's not really much to steer it away. It's just going to be this ridge that's going to sort of push it out of the way as we get towards Sunday. And then you can see there's that secondary trough right there that would come in. This as far as we got. European's a lot slower with it. That's the Euro. GFS is a little faster with it, as you see. And it's got a different shape to it. All right. So, and then if we go look at the upper air, you'll see there's your storm right there forming. And then we have this huge ridge here. You'll notice there's a storm out there as well. Sorry, I forgot to go over the hurricane center, too. This is not going to be tropical, this storm we're getting. Well, it is remnants of it. You'll see there's that trough as we get into mid-October that's going to bring in colder weather for us. Yeah, I forgot to do that. Let me go to the National Hurricane Center and just... Yep, we have a new system. So we have Felipe and Rena forming right behind it. So let's talk about these systems briefly. Very briefly, just going to show you the map here. Tropical Storm Felipe, located at 18.9 north, 55.1 west. A maximum staying wind at 45 miles an hour, and it's barely moving. West-northwest at 2 miles an hour. Again, no steering current. And then right behind it, we have his girlfriend, Rena, who is at 18.1 north, 46.2 west. I think that's a female name. A maximum staying winds are 40 miles an hour, moving northwest at 14 miles an hour. And you see there those two storms right there. They're both not scheduled. They're not, going to become really big storms. And we'll talk about this more on the weekend because we've got to spend time talking about this storm that we're dealing with right now. So back to the surface here. So you'll see there's your storm right there, taking its sweet time, getting out of here. High pressure builds in. We have dry weather. Good news is after we're done with this, we will have at least 5 days where we won't have to deal with rain. 4 rain chances return Friday, and yeah, just in time for the end of the week and possibly into next weekend. Though it looks like it is going to move through on the GFS, but I have a feeling the European has that painted as a different scenario. Let's see what the European does. Now, the European's actually even drier with it. But, again, the European, I don't trust. The European has been wrong a lot lately. So let's go to the NAM now. Talking about our current storm here. NAM 3, yeah, we don't have enough for the NAM 3. I have to use the 18Z run for the NAM 3. All right, so you can take a look at what the NAM 3 is going to do here. So, and you can see there is your batches of heavy rain there. And another round comes in here. Again, the rain's going to linger around. You can see that the NAM has more of a showery look to it versus steady. And then another round for Saturday. Here's your second round for Saturday. Yeah, there's going to be another round on Saturday. It's not going to stop until later in the afternoon. So, yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. This is the 18Z NAM, all right? So let's take a look and see how much rainfall that is showing. And you'll see NAM has kind of scaled it back a little bit. I don't know if I'm buying this. But you'll notice there's an area where that's yellow right offshore. So that could be over here, could be over there. That's why the potential's there for 2 to 4 inches of rain. And if we looked at the earlier NAM run, you can see it was a lot wetter. So, and I'm kind of going by the earlier NAM run at this point. All right. And you can see a lot wetter on that earlier NAM run. All right. And we don't have enough of the 0Z run to show you. We have the 12Z. We have the 12-kilometer NAM as well, which we can also show you the 18Z on this. This is the 12-kilometer NAM, all right, at 18Z. And you can see it's got a different, it's a little better than the other one as far as the accuracy I think goes. And you get an idea of how much rain could fall here. Again, at least 2 inches. That's the low end. 4 inches, perhaps as much as over 6 inches. Wherever this hot spot forms, we don't know. Right now they're saying it could be over Jersey. But this could be a tremendous amount of rain that could fall with this. All right, if we look at this is the 18Z run of the NAM. You'll see the rain just kind of staying over us here all day, an all-day soaker tomorrow, and then for Saturday, at least this run has it tapering off and ending Saturday. But that is a soaker right there. That's a tremendous. And the rain, and because the heavy showers and thunderstorms that form, because there's no jet stream, there's nothing to move it along. They're going to move very slowly, and that's why that potential is there for flash flooding, where these things set up, wherever they set up, in some area. But it all depends on where they set up. But it looks like they are going to set up right over our area: Long Island, New York City, New Jersey, Connecticut. Seems to be the bullseye for this thing. So let's go to the FV. Well, FV. I don't really want to use the FV3. Let's go to the HRRR. Back to the HRRR. Hopefully, have enough of that 0Z running now to show you what's going on. So this is the HRRR, and you can see there's that pack part still Saturday. Still dealing with it. This is the total accumulation on the HRRR, and you can see again. There's those heavier amounts again. 4 or 5 inches of rain, and it seems like it's putting them over Nassau County, Queens, and the Jersey Shore, getting an excess of 4 or 5 inches of rain, which is incredible. This is again tropical moisture that is trapped because we don't have anything to move it along until that ridge pushes it out of the way, and that's why we've been dealing with this. This is Ophelia, the ghost of Ophelia. It continues to just linger around and cause all kinds of misery. Let's go to the icon model. This is the icon model showing similar idea here. And then here's your storm right here. And it'll be a little windy too, of course. You can see those isobars close together. Can't rule out some scattered power outages. You can see that rain just continuous into at least part of Saturday, and then maybe finally by Saturday afternoon finally gets out of here. Let's look at the RGEM. This is the RGEM. The RGEM's a little on the dry side. And it's starting to come down here. I hear it. You have the HDRPS2, which is a model we could use. So again, there's your heavy rain lingering all throughout tomorrow. And then even Saturday, at least on the east end, you get a little bit of it. It's as far as the HDRPS goes, which is which is an experiment. It's an experimental model, but I figured I would share it with you as well. But you can see we're going to get at least 2 inches of rain, and many of us are going to get 3 to 4 inches of rain, and some of us are going to get even more than that. So get ready for a lot of records to fall tomorrow, and it's going to be a soaker. It's going to be a lot of flash flooding around. And just I'll put this onto the GFS and show you what we're dealing with here. So if you look at your 300 to 700 to 300 MB relative humidity, you see the kind of dark greens that we're going to have over our area. That's what's going to keep that moisture around. You can see it lingering into Saturday here. All right, and then finally pulling away. So even Saturday, yeah, I don't think Saturday is going to be a nice day. But by Sunday, we should have much better weather. Obviously, we'll do dew points and wind flow on the GFS here. And you'll see that moisture come into the picture tomorrow, lingering around Saturday a little bit, and then we dry it out on Sunday, northeast to north winds. And then for Monday, northeast wind. We stay in that easterly wind pattern, though. Here we are Tuesday. It starts to become southerly, and then southwesterly Wednesday. That's when we're going to start warming things up a little bit. All right, and look at that. Another bout of tropical air Friday night to Saturday, which could bring our next round of rain, obviously. Let's go look at your air temperatures. Obviously, it's going to be very cool tomorrow. Temperatures only in the probably around 60, just damp and miserable. Same thing for Saturday. And then for Sunday, we start warming things up above normal, mid-70s. And we get into the 70s and perhaps even a shot at 80 sometime next week, maybe. At least 70s we should have. So we'll be above normal for a little bit, and as we try to dry all this stuff out, but it's going to be one hell of a soaker for sure. Let's go to the Ventus sky next. I'll go back to that. Actually, I'll go back to that site for a minute. We'll just look at the skies. Obviously, you're not going to see the sun, but I figured why bother even? You're not going to see the sun tomorrow, and Saturday you're probably not going to see it as well. But by Sunday, should be able to see it across at least most of Long Island and in New Jersey, though there may be some lingering clouds way out east from that system that's spinning around out there. But anyway, we'll deal with that a little more. We got to get through a whole lot of rain. So let me go to Ventus sky here and talk about the winds as well. So we'll look at our wind gusts here, 25 miles an hour. Let's move this to tomorrow. And some of the showers and thunderstorms, you could have some stronger wind gusts as well, possibly gusting into the 30s. And it's going to be bad at the beaches. You're going to have, some high surf. And, you're going to have all that high surf and then the rain, trying to drain from the rivers, which is going to cause flooding in your low-lying coastal areas tomorrow. You can see that right there. All right. Move this into Saturday. And you can still see some elevated surf levels even into Saturday. You're going to start seeing that. Thunderstorm threat. Move this to tomorrow here. Looking at Cape levels. I guess we'll start with tonight. You'll see there are some Cape levels along the Jersey Shore that could cause some of the thunderstorms to be on the strong side for tomorrow, though most of it stays to the south as far as Cape goes. We look at lifted index, though. That is still up there and mainly to the south again, but that's going to make its way into our area, and so this is going to lead to just one hell of a soaker. It's going to be a real soaker, and that's what I'm concerned about for tomorrow. So it's going to rain hard, and it's going to rain all day. So call it a rainy day is putting it way too mildly. It's going to be the ghost of Ophelia giving us a record soaking for September. What can I tell you? What a fitting way to end what has been, like I said, a lousy summer, and just way too many rainy days, way too much humidity, not enough sun, well, it's fitting that we end it like that. So as we deal with the first of this rain, so again, be prepared not to be able to get out until Saturday. That's it. Thank you for watching. Well, unless you have to go out, but I'm not going to be. I don't have a boat, and I don't have. Well, actually, I don't think I have any big boots or anything that I could put on. I might actually, but I'd need like a wetsuit basically to go outside tomorrow. I don't have one of those. So that's all. Thank you for watching, and be safe out there.